Won't forget it. Thank you, Brian. I think Canada, they're going to have to pay tariffs on automobiles, lumber, and oil and gas, et cetera, et cetera. And it was fantastic. We won Georgia by a lot. Where's Brian? We won Georgia by a lot. Where are you, Brian? There you are. We did a great job together, and I appreciate it. They get 95% of their product from the United States. I think they have to become the 51st state. And you heard the people booing the national anthem, but I think ultimately they'll be...
Trump's got a new hobby, trying to collect countries like Pokémon cards. His latest catch? Canada. But those sneaky Canucks aren't having it. Turns out Canadians prefer their maple syrup without a side of stars and stripes. Who knew? Stay tuned as we unpack this hilarious international facepalm moment.
For the 51st state, I call him Governor Trudeau. I said, Governor Trudeau's doing a wonderful job. I think it's actually cost him his election, if you want to know the truth. Praising the national anthem. We'll have to work out some deal with it, because I do like the O Canada, right? It's a beautiful thing. I think we're going to have to keep it for...
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Alright folks, buckle up for the latest episode of Trump's Maple Leaf Madness. Our favorite orange turd is at it again, and this time he set his sights on the Great White North. Yep, you heard it right. Donnie Diapers thinks he can just waltz into Canada and plant a big ol' American flag. Talk about delusions of grandeur.
Remarks made even the morning of the game. So given the strained relationship between Canada and the U.S. currently, there were a lot more eyeballs on this game and definitely some pressure on the team to make the country proud. Canadian singer Chantal Kreviatsik changing the lyrics to Canada's national anthem as a response to U.S. President Donald Trump's repeated remarks about making the country the 51st state, and they came through. Richmond Hill's Connor McDavid scoring the game-winning goal in overtime, Canada taking it 3-2 in what was a fast-paced and exciting game.
So picture this. Trump's been running his mouth about making Canada the 51st state. He's acting like it's a done deal, folks. In his tiny mind, he's probably already designing the new flag with extra stars and maple leaves. But here's the kicker. Canadians aren't exactly rolling out the red carpet for old Grumpy Trumpy. Imagine Trump, arms spread wide like he's trying to hug a moose, yelling, "I declare Canada part of America," while Canadians just keep sipping their double-doubles from Tim Hortons. It's like watching a toddler throw a tantrum in a hockey rink. Amusing, but also kind of embarrassing. And you know our boy can't resist a good tweet storm. He's been flooding Twitter with gems like calling Justin Trudeau Governor Trudeau and promising lower taxes if Canada joins the US. Because nothing says join our country like insulting the Prime Minister and bribing people with tax cuts, right? Meanwhile, Canadians are scratching their heads, wondering if Trump knows they actually like their healthcare system. They're probably thinking, does this guy realize we have free healthcare and don't go bankrupt from a stubbed toe? But hey, who needs universal healthcare when you can have, freedom fries? Trump's been tweeting up a storm, promising Canadians they'll get to keep their maple syrup if they join the US.
Pretty awesome. It makes us really proud to be Canadian. Hockey is such a huge part of our nation. It's really cool to get to watch us beat them.
We got 5 hours and 29 minutes sleep today, but it was worth every penny. Yeah, wait.
Like these have been captured across the nation, the Prime Minister even taking part in game-winning celebrations, later tweeting, "You can't take our country and you can't take our game." Hockey fans today still feeling the excitement.
As if that's the big selling point. Come on, Canada. Join us and you can keep your sticky tree juice. Real smooth, Donnie. Real smooth. But here's the real kicker, folks. Turns out you can't just annex a country by tweeting about it. Who knew? It's almost like international law is a thing or something.
So it would be symbolic at best, you're saying. But, there was a push last year to symbolically, Canadians want to say they wouldn't travel to the United States in protest of President Trump's election and the immigration laws he was trying to bring in.
And the answer is no, it won't have much of an impact just because the U.S. is such a massive economy that has a lot of domestic demand buying its own products that it makes. So at the end of the day, it's a good symbolic way for Canada to stand together and show solidarity against.
As it turns out, Canadian travel to the U.S. actually rose close to 3% in 2017. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it goes to show that in the immediate short run, you always see a very emotional reaction.
Trump's probably shocked that he can't just grab Canada by the provinces. Well, 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 looks like our northern neighbors aren't as polite as we thought. Canada's serving up a spicy poutine of resistance. And Trump's getting a face full of gravy and cheese curds. Who knew the land of sorry and A had such sass? Turns out when you poke the maple leaf, it pokes back and hard. Canada's not just sitting there like a sad moose. They're fighting back with some good old Canadian attitude. It's like watching a hockey game where one team thought they could just waltz in and claim the Stanley Cup without even playing. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work that way, Donnie. But how do you out-Trump the Trumpster? It's like trying to out-orange a tangerine or out-tweet an angry toddler with a smartphone. Well, Canada's got a few tricks up its flannel sleeve. First up, we've got Pierre Poilievre, the opposition leader, throwing some serious shade. He said, "Canada is a sovereign nation. My message to President Trump is simple. We are not the 51st state and we never will be." Ouch, that's gotta hurt more than falling on ice during your first skating lesson. But wait, there's more. Defense Minister Bill Blair decided to join the fun too. He called Trump's comments offensive and disrespectful. I mean, he's not wrong. It's like Trump thought he could just walk into Canada and claim it like it was the last slice of pizza at a party. And let's not forget about good old Charlie Angus, a member of parliament. He went straight for the jugular, saying, "I think the issue is that Donald Trump is claiming Canada is a narco state. The man's a liar." Wow, Charlie, tell us how you really feel. It's like watching a polite Canadian finally lose it after someone cuts in line at Tim Hortons. But here's the real kicker. While Trump was busy tweeting about making Canada the 51st state, Canadians were out there proving they're perfectly happy being Canadian. Thank you very much. They took their pride to the ice rink, turning a championship hockey game into a big ol' sorry not sorry to Trump. The game became a symbol of Canadian sovereignty, with fans cheering louder than a moose during mating season. It was like the entire country was saying, "Hey Trump, you can't take our country, and you definitely can't take our game." Talk about a power play. Well, folks, it looks like Trump's grand plan to annex Canada has backfired spectacularly. Who knew that trying to grab a whole country would be harder than snatching a... Never mind. Our Grumpy Trumpy might want to stick to real estate deals instead of nation building. But here's the kicker. If Trump had succeeded, he might have accidentally made America great again by crashing its economy. Experts say that messing with US-Canada energy trade could send gas prices soaring by a whopping 30%. Imagine that. Trump finally fulfilling a campaign promise, just not in the way anyone expected. So remember, kids, countries aren't like Trump's properties. You can't just slap your name on them and call it a day. Maybe next time Donnie Diapers will try annexing something more his speed, like a McDonald's franchise.